Tonight, the tagline and our Patreon stream is brought to you by Disney. It's not officially a sponsored stream, but I mean, we're doing a Patreon watch along of Blade tonight. What a good time for y'all to announce Blade news. I mean, good job, Disney. Way to help us out. Let's get started with this show. What's going on, everyone? We are the Cinefanatics. This is the tagline. My name's Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And yeah, we got a show. We have a show.
This is a show
tonight to do for you.
Welcome to our programming.
Welcome to this programming. Again, sponsored by Disney. I don't know if I actually need to say that, if it's like obligatory that we have to say that. Like,
well, I don't think it is because they're not actually sponsoring us.
Screw Disney then.
I don't think there's any rules to follow in this juncture.
Actually, I'm not going to say screw Disney because they are one of the few studios that does not copyright claim trailer reactions, which we've had a ton of over this past week.
Praise be to the mouse.
Yeah. Good luck in your future endeavors when the Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie falls out of was it copyright protection or whatever, it falls into the public domain. Good luck with that.
You went a strange direction with that little quip I did there.
Yeah. Well, it's not yes and it's yes. And here's a Wikipedia article that Robert's going to recite verbatim on camera.
You did yes also.
Good job. Guys, y'all know how this works. YouTube thing, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. You have any questions, comments, issues, complaints, whatever it is, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. Throw some $signs on there. That would be great. It will get our attention. I promise you, it will get our attention. Also, patreon.com/cinefanatics. If you feel like that we are worthy of any kind of monetary support and you have the means to support us monetarily, as I lose my voice. Apparently, I'm about to turn 42 and I'm going to go through puberty. If you would like to help a young whippersnapper like me, patreon.com/cinefanatics. Hop on the tier that is good for you and your budget.
And let's be honest, do it even if you don't think we're worthy.
I mean, yeah, if you think we're just garbage, still send us money. That works perfectly, I guess.
Do you know how you make garbage not garbage?
By sending money. Paying for it.
Paying for it.
Garbage that you pay for is an antique. Wait. 42.
Another man's trash is another man's
life
YouTube channel.
Anyways, so do those YouTube things that I was just saying. That would be great. Support us. We appreciate every single one of y'all. So thank you. As far as what's going on, solid start. Yeah, it's about time. I feel like we just kind of flub our way through an intro of a show, and
I don't flub my way through anything. Everything I do is intentional.
Flub my way through everything. Okay,
life.
That's how I get by. It's flubbing.
First thing I hear is a little flub from my friends.
Jared, first thing I hear is I'm gonna go through puberty. Well, I mean, it's about time. Maybe one day I'll grow some hair in weird places. Anyways, moving on from that topic. And yeah, Patreon. Speaking of the Patreon, tonight, after this show, after we're done, roughly at around, say, 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern, we will be doing our monthly Patreon watch-along. Tonight, we are watching the original Blade, the 1998 classic, the movie that really started and kicked off the entire comic book movie craze, because it was a damn good comic book movie, and most people didn't realize it was based off a comic book, but we're going to watch it anyways. So yeah, it actually is probably still one of my favorite, based off of comic book movies.
It's still one of the most highest regarded comic book movies, probably one, at least before the MCU kickoff, but two, I think even still people consider it one of the highest regarded.
I'll be honest, my idea and how I view Blade isn't necessarily from the comics. It is that movie combined with how they did Blade in the 90s on the Spider-Man animated cartoon. The two of those is what really makes up the foundation of how I see Blade. And I'm almost willing to bet, and I don't mean this to sound like a negative, but I feel like the MCU is going to ruin that.
No.
They're going to take Blade in a direction that I'm not used to thinking Blade going. I mean, predominantly, we've already seen it. They've already been including the Black Knight involved with Blade.
What do you mean? They're taking him in the direction of playing with everybody else?
Yeah, pretty much.
Down.
Yeah. I mean, they did that in the Spider-Man cartoon. Blade palled around with Spider-Man and
I need to watch that. I need to watch that episode or episodes. It's like
a whole season. There's a whole season of that.
Sounds fascinating to me. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
You'll also watch one of the better renditions of Morbius ever put onto a screen of some sort.
That I do remember seeing Morbius from that cartoon, and it's much better than, well, it's great.
Yeah, except he drains plasma through like suckers in the palm of his hand, which is really weird and kind of gross, but whatever.
Oh, yeah, for kids.
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't use the actual like sucking blood. I'm surprised.
Can't bite neck, just suck plasma through suckers on your hand.
Yeah. Anyways, so that Blade watch along is going to be coming up tonight after the tagline here. So if you would like to join us, all you have to do is hop on that $5 due tier on our Patreon. I'm pretty sure there's a link somewhere in the description because I put it there earlier. Hop on that $5 due tier and join us on our Discord. And it's streaming on HBO Max or Max, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, it's streaming on that service thing. So if you have that, you can watch it with us. I do want to piggyback that real quick. And we're not quite at movie news yet, but I'm going to go ahead and drop this now. Mia Goth has just been announced to be in the MCU Blade movie. This is interesting. Nice timing, Disney, which is what all these jokes have been based on. Chris, you don't have very much... In fact, no interaction with Mia Goth as far as movies go. Yeah. Because she's been doing gangbusters in the realm of horror lately.
I've not seen a damn movie that she's been in.
I mean, the first one I think I remember seeing her in was the 2018 remake of Suspiria by Luca Guadagnino. She was in that, and then of course she's been doing like phenomenal performances in both X and Pearl. She was in Infinity Pool earlier this year, and she's going to be starring in Maxine, which is the sequel to X, later this year. Apparently, it's filming right now. And now she's going to be in Blade. So, yeah, Mia Goth is... I think it's like a race between Mia Goth and Jenna Ortega as to who's going to be like the modern like horror movie icon. So...
I think Mia Goth has a lead on that right now because Jenna Ortega's really just got Wednesday.
Well, Jenna Ortega was also in X.
And Scream.
Like she was in Scream 5 and Scream 6. She was in that Studio 666 that Foo Fighters did.
Also, Mia Goth was in Emma. That's different.
The Anya Taylor-Joy Emma?
Mm-hmm.
That was based off the book Emma that was also loosely used for Clueless?
Yeah, it was based off Clueless, yeah.
Or Clueless was based off it.
That's what I said.
The 1995 Amy Heckerling movie
Clueless
was what Emma was based off of.
The book Clueless that Emma was based off of.
That works great. Anyways, so yeah, very happy to see Mia Goth joining the MCU. I'm kind of eager to see what she's going to do, and she better be playing a vampire because much like I put on Twitter, we do not get a Mia Goth. I will refuse a Mia Goth that we don't deserve. So those of y'all who've seen X understand that line and that.
It just quote. Seems like it's a very vampire week in the middle of April here.
Yeah, I know. We're supposed to be talking about Star Wars. This whole like stream tonight, like from the get-go, was planned to be very Star Wars centric, and there's a ton of vampires going on right now. So speaking of which, upcoming shows, tomorrow night I will be going to see Renfield because it involves vampires and it looks bloody and a little gross and gory. So someone will not be a part of that movie watching. I will be going. So I will be going to watch Renfield tomorrow night. I will have my immediate out of the theater reaction on our YouTube shorts, and then I also have a spoiler-free review up later on tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for that. Yes, Lego Renfield. I didn't say Cage, but I mean I might as well say Cage because I don't even know where his pillow is. I will fix that in time for the review. I will have Nicolas Cage's pillow behind me. So yeah, I'm eager for this because it looks like it's going to be a blast. The reviews so far that I've seen have been pretty decent. So it looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that is coming up tomorrow night. Friday night, this coming Friday, April 14th at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Please come back and join us live for the marquee. We are going to be tier ranking movie themes and predominantly scores. These aren't going to be movie themes that have words to it. So you're not going to hear Ghostbusters or Gonna Fly Now or I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Armageddon. These are all scored themes. So that will be coming up this Friday live. Join us in the chat. I don't know if we're going to necessarily have the chat weigh in on this feature. You're going to do that? You're going to commit to that? That's 40 movie themes that we're going to be tier ranking. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah. And if the chat doesn't behave and actually give me a clear winner from every single poll, there's not a damn thing I can do about it, but I will sit here and mold.
Yeah. So again, that's coming up this Friday. Make sure y'all come back and join us because it's going to be fun and we're going to break some hearts.
It's going to be a blast. You guys are going to get to enjoy 5-second clips of every song because copyright edition. There you go.
I'm not done with that yet. Let's not sell that point yet until I make sure I can do it.
You got most of them, right?
I've got most of them. It should be fine. Yeah. Fine. So the idea is I'm going to at least play like 5 seconds of each one of these songs just in case, not everybody may know the theme from Dr. Zhivago off the top of their head. So just in case you need a refresher, we're going to provide that to you because we think of everything. Sometimes.
We think of most things. We think of things.
We think of most things every once in a while. So
we think of things. 60% of the time we think of.
I was going to do that. The Sex Panther quote.
Also, I got something coming up. You ready?
Oh, sure.
You ready? I talked about this last time. 24-hour stream over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ChrisAdamsMLP on Friday the 21st, leading into Saturday the 22nd. It is to celebrate my 2-year anniversary. It's going to be 24 hours of whatever the hell I do on Twitch, and you're all going to enjoy it, and it's going to be a blast. And gosh, there's going to be like community games and all sorts of stuff all over the place. It's going to be an absolute blast. Please come on by, hang out. We got a big dono goal that I'm trying to hit, so every bit helps, every bit counts, all the views count. It's going to be a blast. April 21st. Put it in your calendars.
Be here or be
not
just
here.
A human being, because I mean, we can't really punish you and make you a square if you're not here. So
not here. My Twitch channel. Here. This is
Cinefanatics. Be over there. Be on that thing. Whatever that thing is. Yeah. Quality plug. Anyways, Jeremy Miller saying you can't even hum soundtracks or scores. You can hum them. Because me and Chris played that last night, and that was a lot of fun trying to hum these themes, and apparently we both can't hold a tune at all. But as far as copyright goes, that's why I'm going to have to keep them to like 5 seconds. I'll be honest, here's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping we kind of break YouTube with this. I'm going to play 40 movie themes. I'll let the studios hash it out as to who wants to monetize our live stream. Okay, they can figure it out and leave us out of it.
Absolutely not to any of that, because if one of them gets copyrighted while we're streaming, the whole stream goes down. So let's hope that none of them try to monetize a damn thing.
Yeah, they won't monetize it while we're streaming. I'm pretty sure 5 seconds we're still good. I've played songs on Cinefanatics that have lasted for 14 seconds. What was that stupid mustache song from I can't talk. Mustache song from like what was it? Like 1,000 Ways to Die in the West. I played that live on stream for Mustache News, and the stream didn't get shut down, but it did get copyright flagged later for using that song. So,
also, you can play stuff on Twitch, and the copyrights will hit after the stream is done on Twitch. So,
yeah. So basically, it won't shut us down as long as we're not playing the entire song, or we're also not playing a movie.
Yeah,
we're not doing either one, so I feel pretty good.
Yep.
1,000,000 Ways to Die in the West. Why did I say 1,000?
I don't know, but we got to crank through some of the stuff. So let's move on to some movies watched or something.
What movies have we watched this past week? Well, last week, if y'all recall, we started the tagline a little bit earlier so we could go see Mario. Of course, the review for Mario is up on this channel, but we did go see that. I feel like both of us very much enjoyed it. It's weird, like, being in a space where we can give our opinions about movies. What's funny is, like, we saw it that first night, filmed the review, got that out there. We both had pretty positive things to say, and then watching the reviews that came out the next couple of days afterwards, and a lot of people are like, this movie is terrible. It has no plot. It's geared only for kids. You got to be brainless to enjoy this movie. And I'm sitting there like, well, glad we got our opinion out already.
At the same vein, it's getting mostly positive reviews. Mostly positive reviews from general audiences. A lot of critics have problems with it, but you know what? I think Bibiani put it best on Twitter, which is that sometimes, you want a gourmet meal, then sometimes you want McDonald's. And the truth of it is that McDonald's is delicious, it's fast, it's easy, and it's great still. You're not getting McDonald's when you want a steak, and you're not getting a steak when you want McDonald's.
I mean, I am, but I mean, the steak still works no matter what.
You're not getting a steak from McDonald's.
But I mean, yeah. So McDonald's, I like the comparison to McDonald's because McDonald's does have a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people. I very much still remember being a little kid, getting a Happy Meal with my fries and my chicken McNuggets, dipping it in sweet and sour sauce, and I love the McDonald's sweet and sour sauce. I can still get that now and still remember those fond days of yesteryear, being a little kid and enjoying my fries, chicken nuggets, sweet and sour sauce, and my High C orange drink. So yeah, nostalgia works perfectly. That's what this movie was. So absolutely love that comparison. And then we saw Air. What?
I was like, and we also saw Air.
Yeah. Then we saw Air, which is easily, quite possibly, the best movie of the year, at least for me. Like I'm seeing a lot of it, the mixed steak. Ew.
Oh, shoot. I forgot. There's one more I got to put on this list. Well, I can just mention it.
Okay. I love that movie. I can't wait to watch it again. Just everything about that movie was so perfect. So yeah, if you haven't seen Air, go do yourself a favor and enjoy a movie about the development of the Nike Air Jordan. Sounds weird, but yeah, it's a good movie.
Air was great. I did a double feature that night. I watched Air, then I came home and watched Tetris. And I think while I loved Air, I think Air is one of the best movies so far this year. I think Tetris, I like Tetris a little bit more. If you're talking about two stories that are based off of actual events of like corporate things like that, I think Tetris gets a little bit higher of a rank from me than Air because there was a lot of intrigue. It was very enthralling, very captivating what was happening in Tetris. So if you are like between the two of those, you want to go see one of those this weekend, well, you can watch Tetris from home on Apple. So that may or may not sway your decision, but both movies, fantastic.
Yeah. Very much like Tetris as well. And then the only other movie I saw over this past week for the first time was Wrong Turn 2. I'm just catching up on random horror movies. So it's been a while since I've sat down and had like some good classic horror movies. I'll probably watch some more over this next week. gearing up for Evil Dead Rise, which is coming out, I believe, next week. So super eager for that.
Yep. And then I also watched My Neighbor Totoro for the first time, which, that was a movie. Things happened in it. People like it for some reason. It's very slice of life. And usually slice of life movies don't stick with me because I need something that actually has like a plot in it. And that movie really didn't have a plot. It was just two girls find a magical creature in the forest and life carries on.
That was your second Studio Ghibli movie?
It was. First was Howl's Moving Castle. Second, My Neighbor Totoro.
And I think I've only seen Spirited Away, which I absolutely loved. So
yeah,
I'm not like an anime or like fan of that like kind of animation, but I loved it. I thought Spirited Away was really good. So
I will say this,
heartwarming
in defense of the Ghibli movies, they are all a vibe. They are all, hey, kick back and wrap yourself in a warm, comfy blanket kinds of movies. That's what they are.
Would that be one that you would say, like, if you're a fan of the kind of like vibe, the blankety vibe that you get off of like the Paddington movies, would My Neighbor Totoro be?
I think it's a little bit different because, like I said, the Paddington movies have a plot to them.
Yeah.
My Neighbor Totoro really was just a slice of life. But it's just like, if you just want to like sit back and just chill, I'd say it's good to just chill and just not worry about stuff.
It's like Paddington meets Dazed and Confused.
I guess. It's a really weird combination to try to nail down My Neighbor Totoro with.
Well, because Dazed and Confused also didn't really have a plot. It was a slice of life. Just that here's the end of their high school graduation.
Yeah, but
or whatever.
I might pick a different movie that does that. Maybe not Dazed and Confused. Although there was a cat bus in Dazed and Confused that had giant testicles, so
There wasn't My Neighbor Totoro. Say that one.
It did happen in My Neighbor Totoro. Just saying. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, anyways, let's move on to some movie news because we got some movie news to talk about. Where's the movie news thing? There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
All right, guys, let's talk about some box office news. Can we guess what the number one movie in the box office is? Keep in mind, we had 2 releases with both Super Mario Brothers and Air. Which one of them took the number 1 spot? Keep in mind also John Wick is still in theaters, and Dungeons and Dragons was doing pretty good too. So
I feel like if you're a breathing person, you already know Mario was number 1 in the box office this weekend.
Yeah, so the number 1 movie in the box office this weekend is the Super Mario Brothers movie, coming in at a cool $166.4 million, which puts it as like the number 1 animated opening of all time.
Yeah.
Solid. We love to see that. I'm so down with that, with Super Mario Bros. Because 1, that bodes well for video game movies. 2, that bodes well for Nintendo's experience with movie making, which they've been very sour on since 1993 for some reason. Anyway, this movie is fantastic. It's getting fantastic numbers, and I am actually shocked right now that we have not heard the green lighting of a sequel yet, which we were talking about this off camera. And I think the only reason we haven't seen a green light of a sequel just quite yet is because Nintendo does not know how movie making works, and Nintendo has to approve it because Nintendo is a very tight grip on their properties. So if there's going to be a sequel, Nintendo has to be like, yep, we feel good about a story for the sequel movie. You can go ahead and announce it. Otherwise, if it was just left up to Illumination and Universal, they would have announced that nonsense like Saturday.
Yeah.
So I would keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. I am sure that there's been talks, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've already decided that, yes, we are moving ahead on the sequel, and they're just waiting until the right time to make the announcement. But it's coming soon. I am very sure.
I'm trying to remember, but apparently It looks like it's on course. I guess it's about.
This is enthralling.
Apparently it's on course to be the highest grossing video game movie of all time, which looks like it just has to beat Warcraft.
That's not surprising. I mean, it's kind of surprising that Warcraft is that high.
Yeah,
but
do you see the worldwide gross for it?
I can see the worldwide gross for it. Worldwide is almost $500 million. It's like 427 million right now.
Mario is
almost $500 million worldwide. Yes.
Holy shit! So Warcraft domestically has taken in $47,365,290
total.
Total
domestic.
Yeah. So it easily beat Warcraft. So it is the highest grossing movie. Let me look at Detective Pikachu was 144 million.
So I'm saying worldwide as of right now, not the weekend total, but counting several days since the weekend at this point.
Yeah.
And it was a 4-day weekend too with Easter.
So worldwide, Warcraft has done $439,048,914.
439?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mario's easily going to pass that up. It's
Mario's
427.
Mario's going to be the highest grossing video game movie worldwide. It already is the highest grossing video game movie domestically now.
Yeah.
After one weekend. Just one weekend.
Those
maybe a few days.
Those numbers in Japan probably have something to do with it too.
Yeah.
It might hit $1 billion in its total run.
So dropping some news that has not been said anywhere else yet. Nintendo will be continuing to make movies.
This is part of what I was hoping to discuss too on this is that I'm really hoping this signals Nintendo to make like a Legend of Zelda and Metroid movie, because I think those are the two next biggest. I mean, you could even do like an animated Star Fox. I think that would even work and be pretty cool too. So I mean, you've got 3 properties right there.
Castlevania
Kirby is not owned by Nintendo.
Yeah, Kirby.
It was licensed, but it's not owned by Nintendo. Also, I think there's a Castlevania series on Netflix anyway. So those F-Zero would make actually a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm.
All of these probably animated. F-Zero might be interesting live action, kind of Star Warsy in a way. But I'm just hoping, that this is enough for them to be like, yep, let's green light some other properties.
Who's the studio that's made the Sonic movies? That was
Paramount.
Yeah, because they used the rings instead of the stars over the mountain logo. And then Illumination is Sony.
Illumination's Universal.
Is Universal. Okay, so there's not really a chance for those two to meet up in a movie either. That would be cool.
Well, also because one's live action and one's animated.
Yeah, sure. Technically. Ish.
Probably not going to do that.
He's about as animated as the live action Lion King. So,
well, yes, but the Sonic movies are live action movies. It's an animated Sonic in a live action world.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mario's going to have some legs on it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's going to be sequels aplenty and whatnot.
So the big question here, though, is what is the number 2 movie in the box office right now?
Air.
You would think so and hope so, but no, it's John Wick 4. John Wick 4 took in 16 million this last weekend. And oh my gosh, with just maybe about $100,000 difference is Air at 15.9 million. So
Air's number 3,
barely under John Wick, sitting at number 3. I imagine in actuality that we will see Air pass up John Wick this next weekend.
I will say, because coming out this week is Renfield, which I don't know how high that's going to... I don't expect Renfield's going to get pretty high with Mario. Mario's probably still going to take number 1 after this next weekend.
But Renfield will also steal away some of John Wick's audience. So
it will take some of John Wick, yeah. And possibly some of Dungeons and Dragons as well.
I think Air will end up being number 2. Renfield will probably end up being number 3. John Wick will be number 4.
Yeah, I'm thinking Air is going to still hang on pretty well because that's a movie that it is successful by word of mouth. Kind of like the jokes we've been making. No one's looking at that movie going, I don't care about a movie about the Nike shoe until someone's like, hey, this movie was damn good. You need to go see this movie. And then they're like, oh, well, I'll go see this movie then because that's how people work.
Yep. All right. So that's the top 3. Rounding up the rest of the box office, we got number 4, Dungeons and Dragons. Number 5, Scream 6. Number 6, His Only Son. I don't know what that is. Number 7, Creed 3. Number 8, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Number 9, Speaking of Gods, Come Out in Jesus' Name, which is apparently a Fathom event for just Easter. So there you go. And number 10, 1001. Also don't know what that is, but bunch of random movies and documentaries and stuff in the top 10. Kind of rounding up the top 10 this week. Crazy.
So we've got Renfield this next week. I believe we also have Beau is Afraid.
Mm-hmm. Beau's Afraid is not opening in the top 5.
No. I've seen one review for Beau is Afraid, and it is like scathingly bad.
Woof.
So
we'll see.
I don't know. I don't like from what I've read in the review, I don't even know if this is necessarily a movie I want to go see in a theater. Not because it's going to be something that's hard to look at, but just because it's going to be so far out there and I have really bad ADD and I'm going to be like,
yeah, it's hard. That's one of those ones that you're going to want to be able to pause and like look up on the Wikipedia plot just to make sure you're following it the entire time.
What's going on here? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Sometimes you just got to do that, in which case we might not have a review for Beau is Afraid on the channel.
We'll see. As we get closer to it, we'll see what can be done.
Anyway, speaking of other movies that we for sure at some point will have a review for.
Oh, yeah.
I literally go nowhere without them.
I forgot that I did the I literally go nowhere without them with Ryan Gosling as the beat drop.
That's great. I mean, how is there anything else to talk about Barbie related? Didn't we cover everything about Barbie last week?
There's going to be stuff to talk about with Barbie leading up to July when it comes out at this point. So the world is Barbie hype right now, and the fact that they haven't pushed up the date is surprising to me. Anyway, the current news is that Margot Robbie, star of this movie, she's playing Barbie. When she read the Barbie script, she's like, there's no shot they're going to let us make this movie. This is like such an insane idea. Excuse me. This is a article that came out by Variety. She's saying, the first time I read the Barbie script, my reaction was, this is so good. What a shame it'll never see the light of day because they are never going to let us make this. And then guess what? They did not make it. Oh my goodness. So someone asked for more details and she was like, I can't give you more details. You're just going to have to wait. So the world waits in wonder as to what the actual plot of the Barbie movie is at this point still.
Pretty sure we know it, but
we kind of know a little bit, but we don't really know it. Let's see. There's the other piece. I might have mentioned this before. They added this on here. Simu Liu's, I believe, agent told him, you need to audition for this movie. One, it's got the pedigree of Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach on it. But two, Liu said, he literally said this verbatim. He was like, if I could stake my career on any one script, it's the Barbie script. I really think you should audition for it. To which is enough for Simu Liu to go, all right, sounds good. Who is he playing? Ken. but not Ken. He's playing Ken, but he's not playing Ken. But he's playing Ken.
Makes complete sense and not confusing at all whatsoever.
Absolutely. Anyway, suffice it to say, The stars of the movie were completely mind blown by the script. They were completely mind blown by the idea that this movie could be made. And come July, we as audience members are going to be completely mind blown that we get to sit in a theater and watch this crazy, crazy movie, which is going to just easily be the best movie of the year. You heard it here first.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Life in plastic is fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination.
I literally go nowhere without them.
We really do need like some sort of like a behind the scenes camera while that plays, while the two of us are sitting here like.
And I'm sitting here mouthing the words, I literally go nowhere without them.
Yeah. Like. Those of y'all that aren't familiar with how StreamYard works, there's like little images that we can see like our camera view down below the screen that we're using, and I can see the two of us. It's so funny. Anyways, nice benefit of streaming live on YouTube like this. Breaking today, giant news. Apparently this was actually already like announced, but now it's like official because we actually got like trailers and previews that had this logo with it. HBO Max is changing their name to just Max. I actually should state it's HBO Max and Discovery Plus are combining and turning the name into just Max. Which isn't confusing because there's never been any other cable channel or streaming service that has ever referred to themselves with the word Max. Definitely no like cable channel that provides cinema to the max for home enjoyment. Not confusing at all whatsoever.
You know, the thing of it is, and the reason why I am, you know, how do I frame this? So David Zaslav, runner of Discovery, now runner of Warner Brothers, I've been giving him literally the most benefitist of the doubts. That like, hey, I don't know how
sentence out.
I don't know how to run a studio. I don't know how to run a merger of companies and figure out programming and do this, that, and the other. So I'm sure like he knows something I don't know and how to look at the numbers and figure out what works where and how it all combines and everything. So I've been literally, like I said, I've been giving him the biggest benefit of the doubt possible. I give up that right now. What the hell are you doing just naming your streaming service only Max? What does that mean? There's no brand recognition to the word Max. You think HBO Max has been around long enough that you can just survive off the word Max?
Cinemax
That's someone's
could.
name.
Cinemax could. Cinemax actually had a on-demand streaming service called like Max Now.
Cinemax, that's its brand. It's part of the name Cinemax.
Yeah.
HBO Max has not been around long enough for us to signify Max as the brand name. Warner Brothers Max. Why are you afraid of the Warner Brothers name? It's been around for 100+ years now.
Well,
why are we not calling it Warner Brothers Max or Warner Max or Brothers Max? Even that would be better than just Max. It'd be weird, admittedly, but it would still be better than just Max.
I was actually going to change our channel name to the Brothers Max, but I guess that's out the door now.
No, it's actually still in the door because they're not using it.
William Harold, I have a theory that Zaslav is trying to get fired to collect unemployment. It's great.
He probably is, which is, the board's he's probably trying to get the board to be like, what are you doing? Get out of here. I don't know. This actually seems like a decision made by a bunch of suits on a board who don't understand
things.
Brands. How did you get to this position? I don't understand. How is Max how?
That's one of those, that's one of those things that's weird about the world is that you as an individual, even though like you haven't been to college you've been to college. you specifically, you've had some college, but you don't have a degree or anything, yet you feel like you seemingly know better than a bunch of corporate suits sitting around the table. I feel this all the time, and it's a really weird, odd feeling like, how do you guys not know this? I know this, and I'm a nobody.
In this situation, I feel like I do know better than them because I am a consumer. I am a consumer of the product that they offer, a consumer of the programming that they put out there. As a consumer, I think naming your service just Max is the stupidest thing you could have done. You would have even been better just saying it's just merging it all into Discovery Plus and just leaving Discovery Plus as the mainstream service and get rid of HBO Max. Just calling it Max is dumb.
Discover Max.
Discover. It's a lot of words, but still.
Discover Brothers.
That one I would say that Max is probably the better.
Discover the Max Brothers.
No, just at that point, just Max is better than Discover Brothers for sure.
That being said, I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to also once again plug that after this show tonight, we will be watching Blade during our Patreon watch along. It is streaming live. It is streaming on Max.
It's on Max.
It will be on Max. It's on Max right now. We will be watching it. I know the two of us will be watching it off of Max. If you would like to join us, join the Patreon at the $5 due tier. And then if you happen to have Max also, you can also watch it on Max.
See, here's my problem again. My problem.
That was a dumb sounding promo.
What was Paramount Plus before? It was CBS All Access. So you had CBS All Access. Now it's Paramount Plus. Okay, Paramount's in the name. Cool. You had Apple TV Plus. Apple's in the name. Cool. Netflix is its own thing. Fine. Disney Plus. Disney's in the name. Hulu's its own thing. Makes sense. What are the streaming services? Oh, Peacock? Well, okay. That works because it's the mascot of NBC Universal. That makes sense. Yeah. You can go with that. That's fine. What the hell is a Max? That's a level to attain to. That's not a brand mascot. That's not a nothing. Why are you not using Warner Brothers? Again, the name has been around for 100 freaking years. Why are you not using Warner Brothers?
Paramount should just be called Star Trek Plus.
It should be called Star Trek Plus, and you can watch Top Gun Maverick here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there's data collected by nerds. Those surveys show people were linking the term Max to the app rather than HBO. I guess.
I get not using the term HBO. I understand that, despite the fact that HBO is synonymous with like quality programming for decades now.
Home box office.
Yeah.
HBO was the primary when a movie played in the theaters. After it was done playing in the theaters, it would go to home video market, and then right after the home video market, it would play on HBO. HBO is where your big blockbuster movies would go to.
Admittedly, Peacock is the next worst one name-wise, I think, but still, it's better than Max because at least there's brand recognition with a peacock being the mascot of NBC.
Yeah, I don't like Peacock mainly because out of the words that make up the word Peacock, you really should not name a streaming service with the name or with the word P in it. So
yeah, for sure.
That's definitely the problem with that one.
I don't like Peacock because I can never get it to work on my computer for some reason.
The P or the cock? the P part, yeah.
Honestly, both don't work. Neither one. They both have trouble. I know it happens to a lot of people, but it's just a shameful thing when it happens to me.
I can't pull Peacock up. I don't know why. Anyways, yeah, it's just weird. HBO, Max. That's just.
Yeah, disagree with this, but apparently this is the name they're going to roll with until they get enough feedback from people going, what the hell?
As long as they stop changing the programming, like, I don't like that. Dropping some of the TV shows that have been, like, so popular. I don't know. I was eager to do, like, another, like, Batman, Superman, Justice League watch through. As soon as apparently I've got to catch up on Clone Wars and whatnot first, but
Yeah, honestly, they should just call it Warner Brothers Plus.
Yeah.
Everyone else is using the Plus. Just do it.
Just call it
Nike.
Dub B plus.
WB Plus. Honestly, WB Plus way better than Max.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. James Mangold, I guess I could have sworn this was announced already, but James Mangold is directing a Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah, he's for sure writing it. I don't think it was like fully completely announced, but he was talking about it at Star Wars Celebration along with some other things. That he is for sure circling and eyeing the final director's seat, basically.
That's gonna be a weird director for Swamp Thing.
At this point, kind of just let James Mangold do whatever he wants, I think. I think the biggest thing is going to be seeing how the Indiana Jones movie turns out. Once that turns out good, like it looks like it's good, once it turns out good, I think he's going to be one of those directors that you just say, hey, just kind of do whatever you want, dude. You're good to go. Because, I mean, he's got Logan, which I'm not a big fan of Logan, but I know many people are. And in terms of how the movie was directed, I find no flaws or faults. So I think he already is in that seat. For me, also, Ford versus Ferrari is really high up there. I've watched that movie multiple times. It's just a comfort watch of a movie. So,
yeah, I mean, looking at his like older movies, did he do? I didn't know he did. Oh yeah, he did. He directed Girl Interrupted. Okay. He directed Girl Interrupted, Kate and Leopold, Copland, Identity, Walk the Line, 310 to Yuma, Night and Day.
Oh yeah. Which
and
is
then he also
surprisingly
did
a fun movie by itself.
He also did The Wolverine.
Yeah.
Where Wolverine went to Japan, which that was a good movie until like the end of it, and it was like, it was weird.
That you could tell watching that movie how much of that movie was like James Mangold being James Mangold and sitting in that director's seat, and then how much of it was the studio going, hey, we need to make sure this happens in the movie.
Yeah, because that ending bit is very much a very like animated, like X-Men cartoon, cheesy feel to it, while the first like 6/8 of that movie are all like an actual really good like movie, like very kind of epic in its scale.
Right.
And then that last one just feels very ham-fisted. Just it's not good.
Yeah, the shoehorning of Silver Samurai essentially in there is just weird.
I think like the Madam Hydra Viper woman
That too.
Just it's just bad. Yeah. I mean, some of these, like, he's got a good track record. So yeah, after nailing Indiana Jones, I feel like I'll be a lot more open to see what he could potentially do with Swamp Thing. Mainly because I don't think Swamp Thing necessarily has been treated with the kind of respect that it has gotten over the years. I mean, a 1982 movie, I think it was directed by Wes Craven, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, there was a couple of like USA Network TV shows that were like, eh.
Knowing what I know about Swamp Thing, if I look to Logan, I can kind of catch a vision and an idea of what he might do with Swamp Thing from that. Yeah. And I think that is an intriguing thought in and of itself. Whether I'll be interested in it or not remains to be seen, but it does sound at least intriguing as a concept. Anyway, we bring up James Mangold mostly not only because of the Swamp Thing, but because
pivot
to a galaxy far, far away. It was Star Wars Celebration this last weekend, which means hey, Grogu's back here, right there. And James Mangold's in the news, not just because he directed Indiana Jones, which is part of the Lucasfilm filmography, but also he's doing a Star Wars movie, which this is a big piece of news because they showed us that one, he was doing a Star Wars movie, but two, alongside an image of the eras of Star Wars. He's doing a Dawn of the Jedi, the origination, where the Jedi came from, how they came to be, and that I want to see that right now. Put it in my veins right now. Put it in my eyeballs. Put it everywhere into my body. You heard me. I want to see that movie right now.
Stop real quick. I want to go catch Evil Dead Rise, and then let's also stop off for Barbie and Oppenheimer. But after that, I feel like we could just like zoom straight to this James Mangold Star Wars.
Yeah. Talking about a Star Wars movie around the era of not only like the High Republic, but way before that, the Dawn of the Jedi is what they showed on that graphic showing off the different eras of Star Wars that we've seen. I am completely fascinated by this because I never thought that we would see anything like this. I figured most of this kind of stuff would take place in like a book or really just a book. I didn't think we'd get like any kind of like visual media in this kind of era. So this is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And on top of that, James Mangold, again, as a director, I want to see him handle the origination of the Jedi. I think that's such a fascinating concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be interested in this too. Mainly because I do like the idea of what had happened before episode 1. Like, I know everyone was like very eager to see what had happened before episode 4 when the prequels originally came out. Yeah. And then we were all like, okay, politics, apparently. Some aliens that are very bad, like Asian stereotypes. Yeah, that all happened. There was that Jar Jar weirdo, whatever.
Who?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then apparently someone doesn't like sand. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, kind of interesting. No, yeah, I like the idea of like what happened before. Me personally, I want to see, and I don't know if it is possible that it could be incorporated into the same kind of movie. I also want to see the beginning of the Sith, the dark side. I would like to actually see that movie about Darth Plagueis and Palpatine.
And that's not even the beginning of the Sith. That's for the most part for ordinary people like me, not the people that live, eat, and breathe Star Wars all the time. That's really about as far back as I know of the Sith. I want to see that story because that sounded interesting. There's so much more. Just as much as lore as the Jedi have, the Sith have probably almost even more. Where the origination of the Rule of Two comes from, Darth Bane, all sorts of characters. There's even more that have appeared in like various video games and whatnot. So, yeah, that would be interesting.
I'm almost certain that if they're gonna make a movie about like the Dawn of the Jedi, you're going to have like the beginning of the Sith probably take place within the same movie, the same time frame, which would make sense because they're all Force sensitive, just a good and bad. So it would make sense that they both start at the same time. You can't have good without evil. You can't have evil without bad.
You probably see like the splitting off of the different tribes.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Lego. I heard about a republic that is old.
An old republic?
Concludes my Star Wars joke.
Nice. Anyways, James Mangold, on board. Please proceed to process this movie out at a very quick rate. I do not want to wait 3 years for this. I would like to see this by early 2025, please. Start on it tomorrow. Tomorrow.
I don't want to wait 3 years. I'll wait 2.
I mean, year is a long period of time. So
until the year passes, then you're like, man, it just felt like we just started 2022 like yesterday.
Yeah.
And here we are almost halfway through 2023.
Yep.
Anyways, let's jump from the very beginning of Star Wars to way at the other end. Daisy Ridley is going to be reprising Rey in a new Star Wars movie.
Yay!
I feel like, Chris, most people don't have that same sentiment to this.
Most
news.
people can shove it then. Yay!
Okay, I do have to put a disclaimer. Chris does have a very strong emotional tie to Daisy Ridley, the actress. Very fond of her work. So keep that in mind as he continues to describe what this movie's about. Go ahead, Chris.
Ray is so dreamy. No.
Good job, Chris. I'll take it back. Yeah,
Okay.
Ray's going to be back in a Star Wars movie. That's it for this news.
No, yeah. So they're bringing Ray back. They're going to do a whole story with Ray essentially rebuilding the Jedi Order that takes place, obviously, after Rise of Skywalker. This is ushering in the newest, more present, more recent era of Star Wars, which is about time we finally dive into this, too. There's a couple eras of Star Wars that I really want to see them do more stories of, and we got another news story to talk about. I believe it's on here as well. Yes, it is. In that the eras are way before prequels, between original trilogy and sequels, and then after sequels. And this is the after sequel that I want to see, because the whole story here being the rebuilding of the Jedi. We're going to see the origination of the Jedi with James Mangold's movie, and now we're going to see a rebuilding of the Jedi post, all the events that have transpired in Star Wars up to this point, which is great because, like, in my mind, I am very curious as to where the storyline of Star Wars goes now that the Sith have effectively been crushed and defeated. Like, Palpatine being the I am all the Sith, and she's like, well, I'm all the Jedi, so meh.
Who's there to fight now?
Yeah. And then he just blows up or whatever. Like, who is the antagonist? What is the story? What is the plot?
Ray is going to go back to Jakku, and she's going to make Unkar Plutt lower his prices, his portion prices. That's it.
I disagree with that completely because no one wants to go back to Jakku.
Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Anyway, this movie is being directed by Charmin. Goodness. Obayed Chinoy. I hope I didn't butcher her name.
You did, but okay.
I'm sure I did. A woman directing basically, I would say this is like a main core series Star Wars movie.
We'll see if this one lasts.
Led by a woman, and I think that is an incredibly smart play for many reasons. But also, William Harold brings this up. It is also being reported by several outlets that there's a chance Grogu could appear in this movie and be involved.
If you want to make money, you should do that. Yes, that would be a good money-making decision.
Well, keep in mind, by this point in time, Grogu will be probably around 130, 140 or so, age-wise, which means he will be just on the cusp of beginning his like actual adult life, essentially. So we will finally get a Grogu who is, just very much a young man, but is definitely older than he has appeared so far that we've come to know and love. So I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah. So what are the chances that we could get Grogu played by like Tom Cruise or something? I want to see like the Grogu like diving off of buildings or jumping onto spaceships as they're taking off into space. That would be awesome.
If it didn't mess up the overlay, I would take you off camera right now.
Yeah, so don't do that. That's why we have...
Exactly.
Oh, there's also the old standby if you forgot we had it.
Multi-layers there.
They're all available for your clicking pleasure.
Anyway, this is going to be a great direction. I don't know if they are really wanting to work this out into a trilogy in and of itself as like essentially the continuation of the Skywalker trilogy. Does Mark Hamill come back in and kind of guide Rey in the creation of the Jedi Order? I don't know. I don't know if you get that because I know as far as we're concerned, Star Wars as a whole it is time for them to kind of move beyond just the Skywalkers, which of course we know that Rey technically isn't a Skywalker, but has adopted the name. So does this theoretically mean the Skywalker saga is continuing? Yes and no. It remains to be seen. I'm just as equally fascinated about this, I think, as I am the Dawn of the Jedi side of things.
And then also, what role could there potentially be for Finn?
Yes, because Finn needs to be involved in this too. I don't know if they get John Boyega back. I really don't know, because he's not on the best terms with Disney and Lucasfilm in regards to a lot to, I guess, how his character was treated in that sequel trilogy, which understandably so. It really did feel like he was kind of sidelined a lot.
This would be a good way to fix that.
This would be an excellent way to fix that.
Sounds like that's exactly what the point of this movie is to fix that. So,
because from what we know that Finn is force sensitive as well, and it only makes sense that both Finn and Rey together are rebuilding the Jedi Order. It's not just Rey, it's both of them together.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can't do this story without Finn being a part of it in some way.
Yeah.
You just really can't. It'll be interesting to see if they somehow do it without him, but I feel like you got to have that. The other big piece of news as well is Kathleen Kennedy was asked, hey, does that mean this movie will have a crawl in it, like the main series movies have had before? And she said, oh yeah, absolutely, it will. The crawl is back. It'll 100% be here. And people are like, okay, well, will it just be in this movie? And she's like, no, the crawl is back for every Star Wars movie going forward.
They didn't have
Rogue One and Solo will be the only Star Wars movies not to have a crawl.
And here's an idea. This might be, because there's already precedent set for this, that might be a good time to go back and do a Rogue One, or heaven forbid, Solo special edition where you can add stuff to the movie, much like George Lucas did to the original trilogy, and add a mother effing crawl to it. You know, just saying, you could do that. It won't hurt Solo. Can't make Solo any worse. So
Anyway,
I'm going to take a cue from that Air movie and say, just do it.
Get that shit done. Anyway, yeah, that excites me. The fact that Kathleen Kennedy is like, no, yeah, we know, like, the crawl is iconic to Star Wars. It will appear in movies going forward. It's not going to appear in TV shows.
That's good.
Which is fine, because we don't need a crawl for every single episode. Previously on The Mandalorian, here's everything that happened in the last episode. No, we don't need that. But having it for movies makes complete sense.
I do like, real quick sideline, the TV show opening, where it's that low humming sound while like the iridescent light floats in front of like various like Star Wars characters that may have ties to that show. Mm-hmm. I love that. The song that they play is really good. It still invokes Star Wars without being a very easily recognizable Star Wars theme. Yeah, I like that. So I don't want them to change that for the TV shows at all.
Yeah. That being said, I was trying to get that away from the mic. I don't know if it picked up. I'm sure it did.
No, we just heard you pee on camera. That was great. Nope, thank you.
I was pouring water into my mug, you daft fools. Anyway, excited about this. Excited to get more Rey. This is supposed to take place 15 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker. So I don't know when they're planning on greenlighting this movie, but I'm pretty sure that Daisy really has not aged 15 years since Rise of Skywalker came out in 2019.
What Chris meant to say is,
or about it, considering we went through a pandemic, we all aged 15 years since 2019. So maybe this does actually work out. Who knows?
Well, in that case, I'm aging like Paul Rudd over here. Look at me. I'm doing fantastic.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself to sleep at night.
You're aging like Alex Damon.
That is a Star Wars really deep inside joke. Anyway, 15 years later, so I'm expecting that we're going to do some kind of like makeup work on Daisy Ridley because Rey is human, and she will age as such. The Force is not keeping her young forever. And 15 years on top of however old she was. Well, I mean, what? She's probably going to be 40, I guess.
Spoiler alert, she's the little old woman that told young Anakin in episode 1 to get indoors because the storm is coming, and Star Wars universe is just in a gigantic Groundhog Day loop.
You should watch Rebels. Anyway. You'll understand when you get there.
Okay.
That's gonna be a fascinating movie. One last piece of Star Wars news here. One major piece. Actually, I really want to see an update on this because I haven't seen an update since I put this on here. But if you want to introduce the topic,
Yeah. Apparently, was it Dave Filoni's going to be directing a Star Wars film, and not only that, but apparently he's going to now officially be the Kevin Feige, James Gunn. I was going to say Sean Gunn, James Gunn of the Star Wars movies going forward. So he's the pivotal go-to person of it.
The part I'm looking on an update for because at the time I put this on here, that was a heavy rumor right before they actually announced that he was directing a movie for sure. So that's the one thing I want to see for sure is that. Because, like, here's the thing. From what I've seen, they are stating that they kind of want to shape and move Star Wars in the direction of anything that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have kind of started. They want to make sure everything is concise and canon to what he is working on and doing now.
Yeah.
Which is where the idea that he's kind of the Kevin Feige at this point of Star Wars going forward, which 100%. Because I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the triple combo here because Jon Favreau is basically his partner in crime at this point. So you've got Kathleen Kennedy's producerial prowess. She is an esteemed producer who has done so much in the movie film world. And then you've got Dave Filoni, who is essentially the second coming of George Lucas. He just knows George Lucas's story and what George Lucas wanted to do with Star Wars so well. He knows Star Wars. He probably knows Star Wars better than most people.
He should run a YouTube channel.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you've got Jon Favreau, who's just passionate about Star Wars in general. So the triple combination of them going forward as the foundation to anything Lucasfilm does Star Wars wise is, I think, absolutely brilliant.
I feel like they're in good hands. They just actually need to commit to these movies. Let these movies actually get made.
And that's one of the reasons why so many of these movies have been kind of sidelined or canceled is because they really want to make sure they're wrapping the story tightly to what Dave Filoni is really trying to work on.
Yeah.
Weird people on the internet going, well, there goes Star Wars. Star Wars is done. And then those of us who actually like Star Wars are like, holy crap, it's about time you guys finally got on board with this because Dave Filoni is Star Wars. Deal with it.
And then there's those of us that just clearly understand that Star Wars is a license to print money. Like, it's not dead yet. It's not going anywhere. It's still doing very well.
All that said, the movie that Dave Filoni is going to be directing is a culmination, essentially, of all the storylines he's doing right now in, say, like The Mandalorian, starting soon in Ahsoka, all that kind of stuff. So I don't think we see this movie for a little bit, but it is kind of bringing to the forefront the culmination of this period of time that happens between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So I think this is like the rise of the First Order movie type deal.
Which, if anyone's seen the latest episode of Mandalorian, go watch that because it was a fantastic episode.
Knowing what they're doing with Ahsoka as essentially a sequel to Rebels, and then how it's tying into Mandalorian and where they are taking these two stories and the characters that may or may not appear in both of these stories and how they're working towards what we eventually see in Force Awakens. Good soup. Good soup.
it's on a path right now to collide in the most excellent of ways.
So yeah, the fact that we finally get a Dave Filoni directed Star Wars movie, 100% on board. Let's go. Yes. 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 Yes.
Stop it. God, that was so annoying.
Yes. Yes. I am Grogu right now. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Grogu is Krang. Yeah. Anyways, so that is going to do it for the news tonight.
Yes.
So real quick, let's do a recap. If you're a part of our $5 due tier on Patreon, you could join us here in about 45 minutes or so. We will be in the Cinefanatics Discord. In the voice chat, we are going to do the live Patreon watch along of Blade, which is available for stream on that Max streaming thing. I believe it's still referred to as HBO Max as of the time of this live streaming. So you can join us over there. Just hop on the $5 due tier and come join us in the Patreon here in about 45 minutes. That's going to be a lot of fun. Also, coming up tomorrow night, I will have a review for Renfield up on this channel. Spoiler free. You'll also hop onto the YouTube Shorts. I'll do my fresh out of the theater quick thoughts before the full review. So keep an eye out for that. This Friday, we've got The Marquee, which we are going to be tier ranking. Movie themes. I can't breathe. We're going to be tier ranking movie themes. We got 40 movie themes. That's a lot of movie themes.
4D.
Ranking through. So come join us live this Friday. That's going to be at 7:30 Pacific and 10:30 Eastern. So that will be live. Come join us in the chat. You'll get a vote, apparently, because Chris is a glutton for punishment.
I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, he's a crazy, insane person.
Speaking of a crazy person, not this Friday, because that's when we're doing the Marquee, but the next Friday, I'm doing a 24-hour stream, Friday into Saturday, April 21st into the 22nd, to celebrate my 2-year anniversary streaming on Twitch. You're going to want to come by that because there's going to be a lot of fun things to do. There's going to be community games. There's going to be ways that you can participate, have some fun, all sorts of stuff we're going to be starting and doing and having loads of fun. And I want to see every single one of you swing by and be a part of that. If you've never swung by Twitch before, it's not that hard. It's honestly just as simple as YouTube, to be honest. If you really hang out long enough, like it's just a chat.
If I can understand it.
So every single one of y'all, I want to see all of y'all come by, come hang out during that 24-hour stream. We've got a big dono goal that I'm trying to hit for that. It's very important that I try to hit that goal. So we're going to be having a lot of fun and doing a lot of fun stuff, and hopefully you guys can participate and come by. It's going to be a blast.
Anyways, so that does it for the tagline tonight. Again, thank everyone for being here live in the chat. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you are watching us on a replay, let us know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below in the comments section of this. While you're down there, also make sure you hit like. Those of y'all that are live in the chat, if you haven't hit like yet, hit that before you leave. Just hit that like button real quick. Also, make sure y'all subscribe because, well, I feel like it goes without saying, but I said it anyways. Also, make sure you follow us at CineFanaticsMLP on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and YouTube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP.
And you can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as the aforementioned twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP.
Oh, you have a Twitch channel. That's cool. Didn't know that. Anyways, so we will see y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for my review of Renfield. We will see you on Friday for the Marquee. Thank y'all for stopping by. We will see y'all later. Good night.
See ya.